we were just talking about promo tours and how goofy they can get. Where did you start this tour?
Started it in San Francisco and moved on to Chicago and then Dallas.
And they get kind of goofy after a while. Because do you know what town you're in now? Do you know where you are? You're in...
Yeah, because I went through immigration, so I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto, okay,
yeah.
fine. Okay.
But it was kind of strange because you don't get to sleep much. And, you know, in Dallas, I went to a club after... Because you work really hard. You're going from one...
So you would have to go to a club, naturally.
Afterwards, you got to go wind down until 6 in the morning.
Yes.
And we almost missed the plane going straight from the club to the airport.
Airport. At what time in the morning?
6 o'clock flight.
I see, fine. And you were hanging out with the people from Dallas, were you?
Yeah.
Well, that'll do. That happens, you know. I don't mean for you to be an apologist or an explainer for Yes, but we all of us sat here and said, okay, now where are all the people? Where are all the former members? It's like the family tree. Can you explain to us briefly?
Well, I've been with the band for 7 years.
Yes, okay.
And the band started off with Chris Squire, Tony Kaye, Alan White, and myself, before we even called it Yes.
We know this for a fact.
Right.
Okay, bottom line. Okay.
Then we finished an album, and near the end of the album, John joined the band, and we decided to call it Yes. It was Yes for 6 years. John's left the band. It continues as Yes, and we will probably do an album with the 4 of us, because we rehearsed recently and it really felt good, so we probably just carry on as a 4-piece. We have been looking at other people, but we've really been enjoying it as a 4-piece, and that's where we stand. John's gone off and done another album, an album with previous friends. It's kind of a retrospective musically, and which I think he achieved, and we're friends and everything's fine.
And the other guys? Anybody else we missed?
Patrick Moraz, I think, is Moody Bluesing.
Yeah.
He's Moody Bluesing.
Yeah. Known once for having the best hair in rock and roll.
The biggest.
Now, the biggest hair in rock and roll, yes. Now, are you prepared to tour as a solo artist or as a group? I have a band together for the solo thing, which I'm really excited about. Drummer's a guy called Lou Molino from Philadelphia, and the keyboard player's a guy called Duncan Forer, who sang on my album with me, did some backing vocals, and I played with him years ago, and that's a strong possibility. We're still looking at the dust is really just settling, having just finished the first video, something to hold on to. We're still looking at the feasibility, logistics of scheduling and all that, but it's something that's been very seriously looked at doing. And the guy who offered to put the band back together for copious amounts of money, like all of the original members, you replied to that guy?
Do me a favor. No thanks. No, that's to me, those kind of things, you know, reunions and things are purely for money, has nothing to do with music, and I think rips off the public. You know, people are paying a lot of money to see a show. I think they deserve to see something that people have sweated over and come up with something that's taken blood, sweat, and tears.
Then what are you, that's the only band that has not reformed this summer, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Then what about the Doobies and the Allmans and the Who and the Stones? What are your views on that?
Well, I guess if I was going to make $60 million, maybe I'd change my mind, but, you know, just conceptually, I think...
But morally?
Morally, I don't think it's great.
Everybody's taking shots at them. But yet the public is ready to come out and spend that big dollar.
Sure. At least, I think with the... I'm very friendly with Simon Phillips, the drummer of The Who, and they seem to have put a lot of effort into getting their thing together. So, I don't know about the others, but I think that was somewhat genuine. And you know, Pete Townshend's got a new album out, and he's still very active and doing good stuff. Okay.
You touched on the video for the new album. This is a solo album called
Can't Look Away.
Okay. And the single comes. Well, the album comes out August 1st. So is the single out now?
The single should be out any day now.
Okay. Who shot the video for you?
The director's Jeff Stein, who I had some brief meetings with and realized he was certifiable and therefore fine and perfect for the video. And we had about 2 weeks pre-production on it and really worked out exactly what we wanted to do. And he was great.
There's a lot of choreography in terms of this. There's a lot of props, a lot of things going by.
Right. I wanted it to be somewhat humorous, you know, a bit of tongue-in-cheek.
Well, you picked the right guy, didn't you?
Yeah.
Let's show them the video, okay?
Great.
All right. This is Trevor Rabin. This is brand new. Check it out. This is a video premiere on Much Music.
disguise. It's your uncompromising anger. It's how you cope with all your ties. If you look over your shoulder, you find a kindred soul in me. I never said that it was easy, but I need to make you see. When the time comes round, don't slip away. Give me something to hold on to. Something to hold on to. I'll give you more than you came for. You give me something to hold on to. It's how you look when you are angry. About the things you say you see. The way you search for what you're after. I wish you'd look around at me. Look through you and Blue Jay Way. But I find you wouldn't stay. I never said that it was easy. When the time comes round, don't slip away. Give me something to hold on to. Something to hold on to. I'll give you more than you came for. You give me something to hold on to. Something you can hold on to. You're the jacaranda in my morning. You're my anchor in the night. Something to hold on to. When the time comes round, don't slip away. Something you can hold on to. You give me something to hold on to. It feels like love and indecision. I'll find you lying in the sun. I might trap you in my whirlpool, where there's nowhere to run. Where there's nowhere to run. When the time comes round, don't slip away. Give me something to hold on to. Hold on to. I'll give you more than you came for. You give me something to hold on to. Something you can hold on to. So when the time comes round, don't slip away. Something to hold on to.
How did they do? Trevor Rabin. How was this? How did you get that last shot in there?
It was real. I picked up 300 pounds and they hung me over a building. No, that was obviously that's a prop and
Smoke and mirrors.
Sorry?
Smoke and mirrors.
Yes, Smoke and Mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. So that is the first single. So in fact, it is. Although you played almost all the instruments,
Right.
okay, but you're still a guitar-based kind of guy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. You're also a very good producer.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a good producer. There's very few of them out there. But you asked Bob Ezrin to come along and co-produce with you. Why?
I wanted someone who could I could bounce ideas off, and someone who would fight back. And he was just he was more of a coach, because I like, as you say, I like to produce and engineer.
Are you headstrong in the studio? Do you want your work your own way?
I think so, but I'm, you know, people have said I'm difficult to work with. I don't think I am.
Isn't that what we heard about him, that he was difficult to work with? Isn't that the first thing we heard this morning? No, I'm just kidding.
But he was great to work with. He was a coach, and we slapped each other around a bit. And no, he was very inspiring to work with.
Is this a single reflective of the album?
To a degree, yeah. It's obviously a single, so there's some stuff which is a little longer, and
I would think that after all of the wars that have gone on in the group, yes, it would be refreshing to work with yourself.
Yeah.
To put your musical ideas down the way you want them to do them down.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So this also should be reflected in the music as well.
Yeah, I think it comes through on the album. Hopefully, you know, I'm pretty subjective about it, but it sounds happy to me, you know. I had a good time making it.
Do you have any contact now with South Africa?
My parents still live there, and so I speak to them, and obviously still very concerned about what goes on there.
Do you write about that?
Yeah, there's on 3 or 4 occasions on the album I comment on what's going on and my views about what's happening there.
You're very strong about that?
Yeah, it's dreadful what's going on, and you know, for example, this meeting with Mandela and Botha recently, it's like, some hope, and then it's just clutched away, you know.
Do you think Amnesty International has had an effect on that?
I don't think much has an effect on the government there. I think there's a certain amount of desperation there that it doesn't help any kind of influencing.
Yeah.
But obviously anything is better than nothing. I think Amnesty is a great organization, so it can only help.
Okay. Now, bottom line, we have an album and a single in our hands momentarily. If Yes doesn't get together very quickly here, then you'll come out and perhaps do a solo tour.
Yeah, Yes is definitely going to take it slow and easy as we always do,
Yes.
and we'll do an album, and almost certainly somewhere in between that I'm going to do 5-6 weeks on the road.
Okay,
and I'll come back and see if you'll have me.
Yes, please, please. Wouldn't we? We'd love to. We'll go out with love. We'll find a way. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Trevor Rabin.